The next one, the fourth one, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. You know, that was a lot easier when I was a kid and everything was closed.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, and I always told people facetiously when I was having conversations about this, as when I was a preacher, I said, well, I'm the worst son of the bunch.
Yeah,
because I work every Sunday all day long. And so it was kind of funny to think of it that way.
Right.
But it's in the Torah, there is a Sabbath principle, and that includes this particular commandment to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. In other words, it was a day where the Israelite was expected to do no manual or physical labor whatsoever. They were to spend a day in meditation and prayer and thinking about their relationship with God and how they could better fulfill that and live that.
Right.
And they weren't supposed to do any work. Not only were they not supposed to do any work, their slaves weren't supposed to do any work. Their animals weren't supposed to do any work,
okay,
and so forth. And so in modern society, how do we live by this Sabbath principle?
Right.
And I think it's important that each person who is a follower of Jesus and is a believer in the Creator find some time in their life and set aside that time every week, one day, where they leave aside their normal daily routine and observe a time of prayer, meditation, or other things that they feel God leading them to do.
Right. So but it needs to be a physical act, something that they're actually doing, because making it different from the other 6 days, so that they actually, by their physical act, demonstrate to themselves. Others are okay, but actually to themselves that yes, I'm observing my Sabbath, my day.
Yeah, that's the most important part. Is not what other people see you doing,
Correct.
but what you know you're doing.
Right.
And so I'm going to stop doing this, even though it may be a good and fine thing to do.
Yes.
I'm going to stop doing this and do something different that I think God maybe wants me to do during this time,
right,
instead of what I usually do.
In my own career, there's always pressure today to work 24/7. Unplugging for a day, even in arduous times, has always been a renewal. You know, I know it harkens back to God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh. And I found that those times when I violated that, I actually became less productive in the future because I was just worn out. I was tired. Whereas if I kept the Sabbath, then it renewed me, not only mentally and spiritually, but also physically. So
that's real good, Ned, and that leads me into another idea. The Sabbath principle also included a Sabbath of the land, which relates to what you're talking about.
Yes.
You know, instead of expecting to make the same profit every day or every year, you got to expect that some days you're not going to make as much, or you might lose,
right,
some days. And so they were expected not to plow or plant or harvest any crops every seventh year. That was a Sabbath principle.
Okay.
And modern farmers can tell you that the land would be more productive if they did that, but even today we don't observe that.